This man's name is Ting, and he seems to be a better fighter than Jackie Chan. The movie starts with a festival where a group of young men in the village of Bon Nong Pradu compete to capture a white flag placed at the top of a tree. They begin climbing, each trying to reach the top, even if it means pushing their opponents off the tree. Ting, a resident and Muay Thai expert, eventually reaches the top and successfully retrieves the flag, winning the game. The next day, we see a man named Don, a drug dealer, attempting to buy an amulet in the village. The owner refuses, explaining that he is keeping it for his son, who will be ordained as a monk. As Don leaves, he notices an ancient Buddha statue named ONG-BAK, kept inside a temple. That night, the villagers fall into despair when thieves from Bangkok desecrate the statue and steal its head. It is believed that without the head of the statue, the village is doomed. Ting volunteers to travel to Bangkok to recover the stolen head. Ting's only lead is Don, the drug dealer who tried to buy the amulet earlier. The villagers place their faith in Ting and contribute funds to support his journey. Upon arriving in Bangkok with a bag full of money donated by the village, Ting meets his cousin Hum Lai, who has dyed his hair blonde and now calls himself George. Hum Lai and his friend Muay Lek are street bike racing hustlers who make a living conning yaba dealers. Initially embarrassed to know someone from his village, Hum Lai pretends not to recognize Ting. However, after realizing Ting has a significant amount of money, he agrees to help. Pretending to assist, Hum Lai steals Ting's money and bets it in an underground fighting tournament at a bar on Kaohsiung Road. At the bar, Don is seen talking to his boss, Kam Tuan, a gray-haired crime lord who uses a wheelchair and an electrolarynx to speak. When Kam Tuan asks Don about the amulet he was sent to retrieve, Don instead presents the head of ONG-BAK. Kam Tuan dismisses it as just a piece of rock with no value and sends Don away. Ting tracks down Hum Lai and retrieves his money after stunning the crowd by knocking out the champion with a single kick. Ting's extraordinary skills catch Kam Tuan's attention. On the way back, Hum Lai tries to convince Ting to fight for money again. Ting refuses and questions why Hum Lai would steal the village's money. After a heated argument, Ting leaves. Later, Hum Lai reads a letter from his father, who writes about the drought-stricken farmland in their village, attributed to the missing statue head, and urges Hum Lai to help Ting recover it. The next day, Hum Lai and Muay Lek are chased through the city by drug dealer Peng and his gang after a failed baccarat scam at an illegal street gambling booth. Ting fights off most of the thugs, helping Hum Lai and Muay Lek escape in exchange for their assistance in finding Don. They return to the bar where Ting earns the crowd's respect by defeating 3 opponents consecutively. The first opponent is defeated in just 60 seconds. The second, a stylish fighter, is also easily overcome. The third, more challenging opponent is ultimately knocked out as well. As the crowd celebrates, Ting notices Don and chases after him. The trio tracks Don to his hideout, sparking a lengthy chase that ends at a port on a river. There, Ting discovers dozens of stolen Buddha statues submerged underwater, hidden by Kam Tuan's gang. After the police recover the statues, Kam Tuan's thugs kidnap Muay Lek and instruct Hum Lai to convince Ting to fight Kam Tuan's bodyguard, Saming, near the border in exchange for Muay Lek in the statue's head. Ting is forced to throw the fight against the drug-enhanced Saming, with Hum Lai surrendering on his behalf. However, Kam Tuan reneges on his promise, ordering his men to kill Ting, Hum Lai, and Muay Lek. Ting and Humlai overpower the thugs and follow them to a mountain cave, where Kum Tuan's men are cutting a giant Buddha statue. Ting defeats the remaining thugs at the cave entrance and battles Saming, ultimately defeating him. However, Ting is shot by Kum Tuan, though Humlai intervenes to stop a second shot. Kum Tuan attempts to destroy ONG-BAK's head with a sledgehammer, but Humlai shields it with his body, enduring the hammer blows. The giant Buddha statue's head suddenly falls, crushing Kum Tuan to death and critically injuring Humlai. With his dying breath, Humlai entrusts the ONG-BAK head to Ting and asks him to look after Moi Lek. The head is returned to Bandung Pradu. Humlai's ashes, carried by an ordained monk, are brought to the village in a procession atop an elephant, while the villagers, Ting and Moi Lek, celebrate the return of ONG-BAK's head. Thank you for watching.